There was a point. About this man. Ciao ragazzi, sono Marco d'Amore, but now you have to call me Mark of Love. Italo-Americana, a little bit, actor and director. I am here because I have a great meeting with Quentin Tarantino. He's in Rome to present his last movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Leonardo Di Caprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. I have a lot of questions for him. So let's roll. Almost Quentin Tarantino and Mark of Love. That's one, take one. So, Mr. Tarantino, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'm full of joy and of love. I'd like to sing for you and dance because it's an honor for me to meet you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, mate.
I'm not a journalist, I'm an actor. And
Yeah, I know, yeah,
director. I have 1,000 questions
Oh, okay.
for you, but just 5 minutes.
You got it, Marco.
So, I just want to say welcome. I hope you feel at home. You are part Italian.
Yes, absolutely. I feel very at home when I'm in Rome, and you guys make me feel so at home.
Yeah, because we love you. And what's your relationship with our country?
Well, I think I have it definitely in my DNA, but it's also one of the things is, I mean, I've been now, coming here for like, I think at least 15 years now, promoting the films, and I have friends, and I have my own things that I like to do here, and I've actually become friends with a lot of the Italian genre directors that I grew up watching and that I idolized. But one of the things is for a big portion of my first part of my life, I never traveled anywhere. I could never go anywhere. I was just kind of stuck where I was in Los Angeles. And so the way I got to understand other countries and understand other cultures was by watching their cinema. And so the countries that had cinema that attracted me were the countries that I got to know and got to have an understanding about. And one of my favorite, I think my two favorite countries, cinema, what I would call foreign cinema at that time, where I got to understand a sense of the people through their cinema was Italian cinema and Japanese cinema, and in particularly, and like, I do like the Italian art cinema too. Obviously, it's terrific. But I had more access to the Italian genre cinema, and because I actually understood genre movies so very well, it was actually fun to see how the Italians twisted those genres and how they made them Italian and how they turned them. And I think one of the Italian qualities about them was their operatic quality that they brought to them.
But is there some Italian movie you have a great connection with? It's just one special movie?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, my favorite movie of all time is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think that's the greatest movie ever made. That is, I would rather make The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly than write Moby Dick during the day while I was painting the Sistine Chapel at night. I think that's the greatest movie ever made.
And what about Leone?
Oh, absolutely. He's my favorite director. He's my biggest inspiration. One, I love the way he took the cinema that the genre that he loved so much, westerns, and turned it into his own and recreated it, and not only recreated it for himself, created a whole genre that actually kept the Italian film industry afloat for 4 years. I mean, there was about 300 spaghetti westerns made, all based off of the success of Fistful of Dollars.
In your movie, you have a lot of spaghetti western references, but why Rick Dalton, he hates spaghetti western?
Well, the reality is, Americans appreciating spaghetti westerns is really, well, they did appreciate them because they were actually quite popular in America, and definitely Clint Eastwood stuff was very popular. But their true appreciation, being more taken seriously, has only happened in the last 20 years or so. When people called them spaghetti westerns, they didn't mean it as a compliment. They didn't mean it cool.
A B-movie.
Yeah, they meant, yeah. But also, look, there was a tremendous amount of xenophobia in America. Who the fuck are these Italians think they are doing a spaghetti, a western? What the hell do these Dagos know about westerns? I mean, it was just xenophobia. you know, because it's an American genre. They couldn't understand, you know, you know, they thought it was ridiculous, frankly, to tell you the truth, because they just didn't understand it. They were from a generation that couldn't understand it. Teenagers in the 60s did get it. Said, well, no, that American crap is boring as far as they were concerned. This is interesting. This is exciting. But I mean, but in particularly the men of Rick's age and Rick's time really felt that way. And so, I mean, I gave Rick a line. I actually heard an old cowboy actor say this. You know, it's like, forget about spaghetti westerns. We're still mad they put Dean Martin in Rio Bravo. Forget about Frankie Avalon dying at the fucking Alamo.
The movie has different storylines going on.
Yeah.
Actor stuntman relationship. The events related to Sharon Tate.
Yeah, we follow all three. Yeah, we follow all three of them during the, you know, in a situation where it's sort of like a day in the life. So there isn't really a big story going on. We just kind of follow them in these for like about 3 different days. Yeah.
Yes, but why stuntmen? When did you first get passionate with stuntmen? I know a lot of them, they are crazy, but I'm interested in your point of view.
Well, you know, they do wild stuff, but I mean, movies deal with heroes and they deal with villains, but you know, it's the stunt guys that are the ones out there risking their life and doing genuinely brave, heroic things. Now, it's a calculated situation, and they're calculating the risk, but it's a risk. And whenever you're doing a big stunt on a movie where somebody could get killed or at the very least seriously hurt, you take it really, really seriously. You know what you're dealing. Now, you know, a lot of this movie stuff is just, you know, is make-believe. But when those stunt guys do big things, that's not make-believe. This is real. This is real. And it really, you know, and I appreciate those guys very, very, very much. But what I kind of got, but the concept of a lead actor and his stunt double and them having a career that goes on for like, you know, 8 years or 10 years, that's a really interesting dynamic, and that doesn't exist that much anymore. There's still guys like, you know, Jeff Bridges has a guy, and he's been working with him for 20 years. And everybody who works with Jeff Bridges knows that dude. And you know, there was Burt Reynolds and Hal Needham. There was Steve McQueen and Bud Ekins. And I witnessed an older actor with his older stunt double, what looked like towards the after a 15-year career, towards the end of it. And I just kind of watched them on the set. You know, they're dressed in the identical outfits because, you know, they're doubling for each other. And they're sitting on directors' chairs talking, keeping each other company on the set, like I'm sure they did for 15 years. And it was just an interesting dynamic to just kind of look and see them. And I like watch them and I go, you know, if I ever make a movie about making movies, that's an interesting relationship. That could be a way in. That could be a fun thing to follow.
And the actor and the stuntman, Leonardo Di Caprio and Brad Pitt, power couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
A dream team for every movie director. I was to work with them.
It was a dream. I mean, look, I was lucky enough to have worked with each of them before. You know, so Brad was the star of *Inglourious Bastards*. Leo was one of the stars of Django Unchained, and so I had a personal experience with both of them, and they both like me, and they both like my material, so they're both very happy to read it when it comes around. And but I didn't know I was going to get them. I mean, it's just too great of a casting call. You can't assume you're going to have the casting of the decade. You can't just assume that. But then it all worked out. But you know, but the thing about it though, it wasn't just, oh wow, they're terrific actors, and oh wow, but you know, but it's a stunt guy and his double, so they have to go together. They have to look like, you have to believe that the other one could double the other one on camera. And so, you know, now in those cases, those guys actually work right. And not only that, they're even the right age dynamic, because usually the stunt guy is about 10 years older, you know, than the lead actor. So, you know, so that's the whole thing about putting them together. But the fact is, they're both wonderful actors, and they were both committed to these roles. And it was, and they brought a tremendous amount out of them. And in the case of Leo, for example, you know, he responded to the role, but he thought that there needed to be more there than what was there. And And it wasn't there as far as he was concerned at the moment. But he trusted me enough that he said yes, that we would find more avenues of the character the more we worked on it. Now that's a big leap of faith for him. He can do any movie in the world he wants. And even though he's like, okay, this will be a good movie, that's not the question. I don't know if the character is everything it should be for me. But he said yes and trusted me that we would find it together, and we did. But literally, like the trailer freak out that he has in the movie, him going up on his dialogue, the way, that was things we found, that wasn't in the original script, they were things we found in making it.
But is it true that you kept the script locked because of the spoiler?
Oh yeah. The people, like the whole third act, no one had that. Only the people who needed to read it, they could go into the office and they could read it, but no one owned it. You didn't have it at home. I mean, even, at some point I gave it to Leo and Brad so they could learn their lines, but like not for a long time.
Not for a long time?
Not for a long time. Even the whole, before we cast them, like they had to come to my house and read it. And if they wanted to read it again, they had to come to my house again and read it.
Because you want them with you.
Yeah, but it was like, well, my house is cool. We have a good time there, so it's all good, all right? But it was, no, but I did not want that ending to get out at all.
So this is your movie number 9. Is it true that the next will be the last?
That's the idea. That's the idea for it, yeah.
But just because you love the number 10, or because you're full of your work?
Well, I think it's like I think it's a combination of both. I think 10 is a good number to stop at. I think, and by the way, by that point in time, I'll have had a 30-year career. Most directors don't have a 30-year career, and especially working at the level of opportunity that I've had. So I kind of like coming to an end. That doesn't mean I'm just going to disappear in the atmosphere. I'm a writer. There's all kinds of things I can do, and there's other kinds of things I can write books, I can write cinema books, I can write plays, I can direct theater. There's possibly TV.
You're an artist.
Yeah, there's possibly TV and everything, but I like the idea that I've given everything I have to cinema, and I don't want to just keep doing it because I don't know how to do anything else.
Yes, yes. Last but not least, I'm editing my first movie as director myself.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a real Tarantino advice for a debuting movie director, please.
Okay, in particular for editing or something?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, I guess the advice I would give is this, this is hard work, but this is what I do, all right, your editor is going to put together an assembly of the scenes, but what you need to do, I will try it, not be your way, but it's a thing to try, all right, is if you're gonna, okay, so say you're gonna do a scene tomorrow, and it's the kitchen scene, okay? The night before, you watch all that footage from the kitchen scene and make all your notes. Get all your notes of, this line rating is good for here, this or that, and just, okay, think, I'm going to be editing this tomorrow. Doesn't matter what you liked on the day. Doesn't matter what takes you circled on the day. You just watch all the footage again, and don't look at your notes about how you thought on the day. Just, no, now it's now. How do you feel about it now? Make all your notes, and if you do that, you'll probably start putting together how you want to put the scene together in your mind. So when you come to the editing room, you're not just watching it with him. Now you have a complete plan of how you want to do it. And sometimes it doesn't work out, but now you'll have a plan, and now you're not figuring it out at the editing table.
Wow. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Marco.
Thank you.
And good luck to you on your movie, mate, okay?
Thank you.
Cool. Okay.
Grazie.
Thanks a lot.
Grazie.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, cool.